Well, hello and welcome once again. I'm up here at Strathcona Provincial Park in the area referred to as Paradise Meadows. I'm going to be doing a hike today out to a lake called Helen McKenzie Lake. And I'm going to have an overnight at the lake and then come back out tomorrow morning making a circle route. So here we are up at the Paradise Meadows. This is another equinox hike like I did last year, but it's dramatically different as the temperatures have obviously been milder and the colors have not really started to change yet. There's nothing bad to be said about this area. It's gorgeous. It's just a whole flock of cranes going overhead. I guess they're heading out of here for their next summer, which will be down south somewhere. Just came through a particularly rooty section, but this is a kind of forest I'm going to be walking through for the next little while. I may not be seeing a lot of autumn, fall colors on this trip, but I am seeing a lot of various types of mushrooms. And I really don't know how to identify them, but they're in abundance and there's quite a variety. Do you notice how very, very quiet it is? One more piece and then we're done. Those little gray jays, commonly called whiskey jacks, they are fed by a lot of people. Most of us carry some kind of grainy, nutty thing. My power bar has got lots of, I would say, bird-friendly food in it. They are just little scavengers and they are so bold, but they are so cute. But let's carry on. Got a beautiful, beautiful day and a gorgeous place to walk. I seem to have developed a following. Party's over. Oh, look at this. This is huge. And there's some little blueberries up here. Well, you know, I came up here to see the fall colors, and there is just a little bit. But nature does not disappoint. There's always something great to see. Between the sandhill cranes and listening to them and the whiskey jacks and so many amazing different types of fungi. It's incredible. Isn't this something? This is just so beautiful. Well, I'm up at Helen McKenzie Lake now. You can see that it's clouded up a bit. I thought it was supposed to clear off, and maybe later this afternoon it still will, but it's not forecast to rain, so I'm banking on that forecast, and haven't got too much longer to go till I get to the campsite. I've just been enjoying taking my time today, taking some photos, chatting to some people on the trail. Just met 3 women who are from Victoria who actually watch the channel, which is amazing. I'm always blown away when that happens. Only happened a few times. I'm always kind of like deer in the headlights when somebody calls my name and I don't know who they are. But it was lovely. It was lovely to see them, and special hello to her son's name is Stephen. So, hi Stephen. It was wonderful meeting your mum. I'm just going to get myself back on the trail and head up slowly towards the campsite. I just love going at this dawdling pace, and that's really what I'm doing today. I have all day to go, only 4.5 kilometers. And so I've just totally embraced every step and enjoyed it. So let's go. We got a few more steps to go before I can get my chair out. Well, I'm just entering the Helen McKenzie campground, and up at the top they have an outhouse, and down here I think that's where the food cache is, if I recall properly. Yes, there it is. It's like a little locker, and you bring your food up here and store it in one of these cupboards which you can lock up. Okay, we'll go down to check out the campsites, see what's available. It's very quiet right now. Some people use this as a base camp for this end of the park and do day hikes from here. A lot of people go on further to Quai Lake, where I'd hoped to go earlier this September, but couldn't go because we just got Milo then. So we'll go see what's available. Well, it's early in the day and it is midweek. There's a lot of people out on the trail, but I think they're going further than me. And I think I have my choice of about 10 tent platforms. I don't see anybody here. Although I wouldn't be surprised if some people came in later as the day went on. But we'll see. This is the site that I had before. It's great. Lake's right out there. Well, why change a good thing? And yeah, I think I'll just set up here in a few minutes. So this is the rock that you go down off of to get some water out of the lake. And lots of times people come out here to cook their food. It's nice. And just sit and look at the view. Well, it's time to get to work and put up the tent. Well, I'm actually very pleased with myself. This is the 3rd time I've done this on a tent platform, and it went perfectly right off the go. So I obviously got this figured out. So what I do on the tent platform, I put out the 4 corners of the tent first. That's how you put up these Durston tents. And I've just put an extension on the tie-outs on 4 corners, and down here the back I've used a peg at each corner with an extension off the platform. And then I've hooked in, instead of using this as a guy line, I've just put one into this little loop and used the grommets that are down here on the bottom of the platform. Once I got the 4 corners in, it was really easy. I just slipped in my trekking poles and up it went, and then I put the 2 end guy lines out and 1 for each side of the door. And that was it. It really didn't take long at all. So I'm very happy about that, and very pleased that I was able to do it so easily. I'm just going to put in my Nemo mat, and I'm going to get out my top quilt. It's going to be cooler tonight, so this should be a reasonable test. I don't think it'll probably go to freezing unless it clears off, but it is forecast to be fairly cool up here tonight. So we'll see. My first cool night with my new top quilt. Okay, I'm all set up. I've got my Nemo mattress and my top quilt. I've also got my down jacket, a rain jacket, a headlamp, and in here I have some long underwear, wool tops and bottoms, and an extra pair of wool socks. So I should be well set. So I'm very happy with this little camp. I'm just really surprised there's nobody here, but it's only probably after 3, and so there could be people coming in before the end of the daylight hours, but we'll see. I might have this place all to myself. Well, this feels pretty darn good, sitting in my little chair and looking out at Lake Helen, McKenzie. Right now, I feel like I have this whole place all to myself. It's absolutely fabulous. Although I don't mind if there's other campers here. There's a certain comfort in that too, but I'm okay with staying by myself. I have my trusty bear spray, my whistle, etc., etc., my Zoleo. I have all my safety equipment, which reminds me it's time for me to send a message in to Bob to say I'm okay. So I'm going to do that, and then I will just relax. It's quiet. It's quiet again, because there is no noise. This is pretty rare in our society, isn't it? When you can be out somewhere and it's basically absolutely quiet. Occasionally I hear some birds, little bit of something in the air, but it's beautifully quiet. I'm going to sit here and enjoy some more of that. That's better. Problem is, if you get chilled, if you get too cold, it's hard to warm up, because we can't have fires up here at all. It's totally forbidden. And so, if my body temperature goes down too much, it's hard to get warmed up. So it's better when you're feeling a bit like you're getting cool to bundle up a bit, because yeah, it's very, very hard to get warm once your core temperature starts to go down. Well, tonight I have some of my pulled chicken dehydrated food that I made a few months back, which I showed to some of you who watched as I did my dehydrating video. And I'm just going to heat up some water, warm this up, and put it in my cozy, and hopefully have a good dinner. Okay, this is a little cozy I make to put my dehydrated food in. I made this little cozy out of some insulation that people buy for putting around their hot water tanks. And then I got some metal duct tape from the same hardware store. So I've also put some Velcro on the lid. I've just, it's such a simple thing to make, but the Velcro just helps keep it nice and tight. What I do here is I put in the amount of water that I want into my dehydrated food, and then I put it into the cozy to keep it warm while it rehydrates. So I'll just leave it in the cozy now for about 10 minutes, and then I will open it up, stir it, shut it back up, give it another however many minutes I think it needs until it's really well rehydrated. So here's the wonderful new the pulled chicken with rice and veggies that I made in the dehydrator earlier this year. And it looks good. It looks like it's really well hydrated and it's still hot. So I'm going to put it back in the cozy, and I'm going to eat it out of there so that it doesn't cool off too fast. So I'm just about to sit down and enjoy this dinner. So I'll see you after dinner, and I'll let you know how it went. Okay, I finished that up. And I would say as far as flavor, it was like 10 out of 10. The rice and the vegetables, rehydration, were certainly 8 or 9 out of 10. The rice this time was very good. The chicken, though, was still a little bit, I think of pulled meat as being really soft. And this had a little bit of a toughness to it. Although the further I got down in the bag, the better it was. So I would give the meat for flavor top marks. But I would give my rehydration efforts maybe about a 6. So anyway, that's it for the pulled chicken dehydrated meal. It's satisfied, it's filled me up, and it was very, very tasty. So we just got to work on the finer points. If you've got any ideas, by all means, send them along. So I really appreciated your helpful hints in the past, and I look forward to hearing more from you. A lot of you have more experience in many areas than I do. So I've brushed my teeth, washed my face, filtered my water, separated my stuff, and now I've got food, toiletries, garbage, all in here. And we're going up to the food cache. Okay, goes in there. I'm going back to the tent, and I'm going to bundle in there and read my Kindle and get warm. Okay, I'm in my little Durston tent. It's not exactly spacious, but it has got good headroom. Of course, I'm not that tall, but even if I was taller, there's still a lot of good headroom in here. So I'm just going to read my book. I'll probably pop my head out a little later, see if there's anything interesting happening on the lake with the light. If not, this just might be it. So either way, I'll see you in the morning if I don't see you before. All right, bye for now. Well, good morning, people. I don't know what the temperature is, but it doesn't look like there's frost, but it's only got to be a degree away from frost. In fact, I'm surprised that it's not frosty out. But it is cold. It is cold. So I'm bundled up. I've just lit my little stove. I had the thought at about 4 o'clock this morning, when it was a bit chilly in the tent, to bring my canister in and stick it in the bottom of my sleeping bag, along with my camera with the battery and my phone because of the battery, because I knew it was really cold. And I have just about every article of clothing on that I brought. But it's clear, you see, and it's going to be a beautiful day, I'm quite sure. But right now it's about 10 to 8, and I must say I'm sitting here in the tent. I'm not going far. I've at least got a bit of shelter from the damp. And yeah, what a night. I'm getting the coffee going. For breakfast, it's going to be really simple. I made these breakfast bars a while ago. I've had them in the freezer. And they've got lots of grains in them. They've got dried fruit, all kinds of yummy things, seeds, nuts. And so I've also got some pre-cooked bacon, which I'm going to just put into the pot and just warm it up. The thought of eating anything cold right now is not all that appealing. There, that'll do. In a way, this would have been a good trip to have brought the alcohol stove, because I could fill that little canister, and it actually does make a little tiny bit of heat. A bit late now. Anyway, my night was pretty good, actually. It was very quiet and no visitors. And I slept okay in spots, but not as well as I thought I would. But that's how it is at home too sometimes. And so just take the good with the bad. I woke up at about 4 o'clock. Eat this while it's warm. I'll get back to you on that. Where was I? Oh, 4 o'clock. I woke up and I was chilly. Not on the top, but underneath. And there was a lot of wind blowing. There was some quite significant gusts of wind. It wasn't threatening at all, but I could hear them coming up the lake and then blowing past, and then all the needles off the trees would fall on the tent. And I thought, why am I so cold underneath? And then I remembered that, my Nemo mattress is insulated, and it's supposed to be a 4 point something or other R value. And but it's sort of on this tent platform. It's kind of like sleeping on a raised cot. And instead of being down on the ground where the wind can't get under you inside the tent, the wind is it's cooling the bottom of the tent. And plus the temperature dropped. The moon had come out, and it was so bright I thought it was morning, but it wasn't. And yes, so it cleared off, the temperatures went down, and the breeze was blowing quite strongly underneath around this campsite. And so I was getting cold spots on my mattress. So I made a couple of changes. I sat up and put the light on, and I put the clips together up my on my quilt. I think I've shown you them. They have about every 15 inches, these little clips. So I sort of closed it all in. And I also took my down jacket and I put it underneath me. So I had an extra layer, plus I'd closed in the quilt. And that did help. It really did help. But I would say that in a cold wind, if it was any colder than this, it would be you'd have to have a really, really good quality winter sleeping mat. Mine is fine for 3 seasons. It should be fine, and it would have been fine, because I've used that sleeping mat when it's been freezing, but I've had it on the ground, and and it's been fine. So I think that's what it was. So I did get another couple of hours sleep after that. I don't know if this counts as winter camping. Probably not. I know West Coast people are sometimes a bit wimpy compared to other parts of Canada and United States. Yeah. So I'll get back to you and I'll be putting things away. I don't know. It won't take very long, I don't think. And we'll be on the trail again and heading out. Here's the mess. Got everything out of the tent. And now to stuff it all into my pack. Won't take very long. I've got the rolled up things done. I've settled on my 2 light layers underneath my jacket, more as a windbreak than anything. And I've got my gloves on and my buff. And I can tell by the time I get up this hill that I got to do to get out of here. I'll get to the top of the hill. I'll be taking some of this off, I think. But I'll also be getting up into where the sun is hopefully shining. And it is coming. It's coming through. And anyway, it was a great camp. Everything went really well. And I'm ready to head off. Look at this day. I've come out into the sunshine and I'm about walking half a kilometer along this lake. I'm going to follow the lake for a little while. It's just a beautiful morning, out of the trees and into the sun. The mountain in the back that you can see is Mount Washington, which is a ski resort. You can see the runs up there. And we're on and off boardwalk. Some rooty parts, some boardwalk. A beautiful morning. What a wonderful way to start the day. There, I can tell you without a doubt that it was freezing last night. The boardwalks that are out in the open and the plants that are out in the open definitely are covered in frost. So at 4 o'clock when I woke and I thought, oh, this is kind of cold. I think it must be freezing. And I didn't see frost this morning, but boy, sure, I felt freezing. And it definitely was either 0 Celsius or 32 Fahrenheit, however you want to look at it. And there's frost on the plants in the open. Under the trees, not so much. And that's where I was. It's really lovely, isn't it? So I'm just going to go back to the main trail again and have a hike out. And I just came across a really slippery section with lots of frost. Well, I'm down in the alpine meadow again. It's absolutely lovely and a very easy boardwalk back now. This has just been a delightful hike this morning. I feel really energized. It could be because a lot of it's downhill. But also I think, and I didn't get a lot of sleep, but I think it's all this cool air. I thought I'd have my jacket off by now for sure, but even with the sun, the breeze is cool. But it's just energizing. It's wonderful. I'm going to be really sorry to see this hike come to a close. And I've got this perfect day today, and I'm just enjoying myself thoroughly. Well, I've just about got enough battery to finish this video here. I'm almost back at the trailhead. And I just wanted to say that I've had an extraordinarily wonderful time. And it just goes to reinforce to me that it doesn't have to be about how far you go. I mean, this whole hike is only about 8.5 kilometers, 5 miles, and with a campsite in the middle. So basically it was about dawdling, photographing, just listening, watching, just being. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'd love to have the mileage in because I'd love to enjoy the bragging rights. But, you know, I'm just happy to get out for 24 hours and do this. And this works. And I come back refreshed. And it's just been wonderful. So thanks so much for coming along. Totally loved having you. And we'll see you on the next little adventure. So get out and live life fully.